Yo, what is going on, guys? In today's videos, we're going to be talking about the brand new champions coming to Marvel Contest of Champions in October, which is Red Goblin right here, and also Cosmic Ghost Rider. So I'm going to be uploading these videos at the exact same time, so you can watch them whichever order you'd like. If you'd like to know more about Red Goblin or Cosmic Ghost Rider, go ahead. Cosmic Ghost Rider's link will be at the top of the description, so you can watch that now or you can watch it after this one. Up to you guys, but let's jump in to Red Goblin's abilities, because Red Goblin is the colored symbiote on Green Goblin, which is an awesome combination. So Red Goblin will be the first champion coming to the game on October 8th. So his prestige is identical to Cosmic Ghost Rider here. It says 18,000. That's actually the prestige of a rank 5 champion. But yeah, it's the exact same as Cosmic Ghost Rider's, which is 13,000 here. So yeah, those are the same, just a little typo. Red Goblin is a Cosmic as well as Cosmic Ghost Rider. Both of them are the Cosmic class. I know a lot of people thought Cosmic Ghost Rider was going to be Mystic, but no. I've heard some people saying this guy was going to be Tech or Science or who knows. But they're both Cosmic, which is great for me because I got 2 Cosmic T5 CCs. So base abilities, True Sense, which is, I think it's a new thing. I've never heard of it before, and it sounds dope. Energize, Fury, and Aptitude. So strengths, armor breaks. True Sense, which True Sense, basically, when you activate it, prevents miss and auto block abilities. So I'm very interested to see that more on newer champions, or maybe a buff. Some older champions that get buffed can get that. And another strength is against Spider-Verse champions. They have a minus 100% passive evade ability accuracy, making them easy targets. Additionally, Red Goblin gains the bonus Bloodlust each time he squashes one of those pesky spiders. So similar to Venom, very good for countering Spider-Verse characters because they can't evade. Weaknesses are Nullify, Purify, and Regeneration. So Nullify because this guy has a lot of buffs, Purify because he stacks a lot of debuffs, and then Regeneration because once you get the opponent to a certain health threshold, you trigger Frenzy. So if they regen above it, you lose Frenzy. So the following stats or abilities of Red Goblin are based on a rank 5 level 65 5-star champion. So abilities: passive, gain full immunity to Incinerate and Power Burn. Red Goblin's Symbiote reduces ability accuracy of passive evade abilities of Spider-Verse champions by 100%. Persistent Bloodlust, so he has a persistent charge ability. After winning a fight, gain 1 Bloodlust for the remainder of the quest. If defeating a Spider-Verse champion, gain +1 Bloodlust. And then lose 2 Bloodlust when defeated. This I have a problem with, because what that means is that it's not going to make Red Goblin that good for the Abyss and that type of long form content, where in Abyss you pretty much have to die at some points. You can't solo the opponent, some opponents. So you have to die and revive, and then because of that you would lose 2 of your persistent charges, which would be also hard to gain in the Abyss because you have to completely defeat an opponent to gain 1. So I'm not a big fan of that ability. There is a synergy that makes it so that you only lose 1 when you're defeated, but still you're losing them. But let's talk about his abilities. So Frenzy. So while the opponent has less than 15% health remaining, activate Frenzy. Each Bloodlust increases this threshold by a flat 10%, reaching 65% at max Bloodlust. Frenzy also triggers a True Sense buff, bypassing the effects of miss and auto block. If Frenzy ends, this buff is removed. Gain 314 attack rating. Additionally, gain 314 attack rating for each Bloodlust. Each stack suffers from 15% reduced potency. I also hate this, the whole reduced potency thing. Not a fan of that. Special activation, Symbiote buffs. Activating special attacks creates a buff based on the last attack launched. Buffs last for 15 seconds but start paused. Buffs are unpaused the next time one of them is triggered. So light attack. So when you end a combo with a light attack and then you activate a special, you gain an Energize, granting 25% combat power rate. Aptitudes increase the potency of these energized buffs by 75%. Medium attack get a Fury, granting 1258 attack rating, and heavy attack gives you an Aptitude, granting 120% increased Fury, precision, armor up potency. But remember, just doing these attack doesn't activate these buffs. That has to be your last attack, and then use a special attack, and then you get these buffs. And so they start paused until you activate another special attack, and then they unpause, and they last for 15 seconds. So there are some very powerful buffs here. I think getting the Aptitude first and then getting a a stronger Fury and stronger Energize could be pretty good. Developer note, these are the key ingredients you'll need for baking the delicious damage-dealing Red Goblin cake. Maximize the flavor palette by getting a good mixture. The order you add them is important too, but we'll cover that with the special attacks. So Carnage Bombs on heavy attacks and special 2s. Each Energized buff inflicts power drain, draining 10% max power over 15 seconds. I really like this. I'm a really big fan of these types of abilities. So as long as you have an Energized buff, just by activating a heavy attack, you're going to inflict a power drain debuff on the opponent. That's awesome. So for each Fury buff, inflict an armor break, reducing armor by 525 for 15 seconds. All other buffs inflict Incinerate, dealing 3600 energy damage over 15 seconds. Which also, that could be pretty good, depending on how many buffs you have. Maybe in some special cases where you can get a lot of buffs, that could be a pretty crazy combination. Heavy attacks, Carnage Bomb debuffs inflicted by this attack have a 65% reduced duration, so they won't be as powerful as a special 2 power drain, but still just being able to apply a power drain with a heavy attack. I'm a big fan of that type of ability. Special attack 1, Symbiote Rushdown. The Carnage Symbiote takes control, bursting razor-sharp tentacles from his chest before shattering a Carnage Bomb into a hail of flaming shrapnel. I can't wait to see the animations. Symbiote attacks. All 5 hits deal a burst of direct damage equal to 100% damage dealt. Potency increased by 100% for each unique debuff on the opponent. Shrapnel Blast, Incinerate, dealing 3100 energy damage over 20 seconds. This is the fluffy base. Here is a good place to quickly add a mixture of ingredients. I like to fold in a light attack to get an Energized buff, then speed my way to the special 3. That's where we will prepare the icing. If you don't care for icing, fold in a heavy attack instead for the aptitude buff, then preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit and head to the special 2. So I think basically what this means is that for a bit more longer fights, start with special 1 to get the Energized buff, and then build your special 3. And then for maybe more short, bursty fights, go for a heavy attack to get the aptitude, and then go for a special 2 to get some real quick damage. You know, maybe if you're doing a Legends run or something. I'm not saying it's got to be good for a Legend run, but for just more shorter fights, maybe that'll be the way to quickly burst your opponent down. So the special 2, Goblin Onslaught. Norman employed the Green Goblin's tactics, discharging a few Carnage Bombs to maim his prey, and then obliterates. I didn't know there's an S in that word, but obliterates them with a massive blast from his glider. Carnage Bombs inflict Carnage Bomb debuffs. Afterburner, all 3 hits deal a burst of 2000 energy damage. Developer note here, before popping this bad boy into the oven, I recommend launching a sweet medium attack. The Fury buff will apply armor breaks and give your cake that sweet taste of big yellow numbers. Fury buffs are delicious either way, but best used once the aptitude buff is in place. So the special 3, Seething Madness. Red Goblin unleashes his madness onto the world, spawning an armada of Carnage Bombs who seek and destroy any and all things. So activate Frenzy for 30 seconds. So this is a way to activate Frenzy without getting the opponent to a certain health threshold. Inflict 7 random Carnage Bomb debuffs with 50% increased duration. So the Carnage Bomb debuffs were the power drain. Where were those? So they're the power drain, armor breaks, or incinerates. So you're just going to get 7 random of those, and they're also going to have 50% increased duration, which is great. So you're going to, on average, you're probably going to get 1 of each. So the special 3 is a good way to apply a power drain. Get some damage with the incinerates, apply some armor breaks. So yeah, that sounds like a pretty good special 3. So developer note here, the Frenzy is the icing. It's great on its own, but when added to a well-prepared cake, the 2 becomes something so far and beyond that they could have ever been alone. Make sure this icing is prepared before you launch special 2 so you can eat your cake immediately. If you haven't already, this is a good place to add in the heavy attack for an aptitude buff. They supercharge any future buffs you add to the mixture. And then we have the signature ability, Symbiotic Empowerment. Norman Osborn and the Carnage Symbiote form a powerful bond. While Frenzy is active, special attacks generate +1 symbiote buff with 35% reduced potency. But again, I hate this whole reduced potency thing, man. I'm not a fan of that. So developer note here. All right, Things are about to get serious. Don't let anybody see the screen. Is it hidden? Okay, good. This right here is a secret ingredient. It's not strictly legal, so keep it to yourself, okay? It gives an extra kick to the already mouth-watering frenzy icing. This ingredient will double your buffs, which also doubles your debuffs. No weird side effects, none, not one, so don't worry about it. Bueno, bueno. So yeah, it will double your buffs and then in turn double your debuffs that you can apply. So more armor breaks, more power drains, or more incinerates. So the signature ability could be pretty good, man. I saw it in the Trucos video that was leaked before these characters were officially announced. There was a bit more to his signature ability, so it might be another scenario where the character had some abilities and maybe it was too strong and then some got taken away. We've seen that before, like on Annihilus and his leaked abilities. That's why the leaked abilities aren't always accurate. But yeah, so that's his base abilities, and it's kind of hard for me to really, just on paper, to really imagine. I'm gonna have to actually play him for myself, really try a couple different rotations and see what kind of damage output I can get. But it sounds like it could be pretty strong. The only downside I really see is that he does not seem suicide friendly at all, because you want to be launching lots of special attacks. Also no immunity to bleed or poison. So immunity to incinerate, which is nice, but not the best. But he sounds pretty good to me. Carnage has actually one of the best DPSs in the entire game, which stands for damage per second. So I'm excited to see if Red Goblin can match that and beat it, with also having utility with power control and everything like that. So he sounds pretty good to me. I think he's going to have some pretty solid damage output, some decent power control. And I mean, what more do you really want in a champion? Having good power control and damage output is two great things to have on a character. So I'm definitely see some potential in Red Goblin here. So we got some synergies. So one with Red Goblin and Carnage, which, I mean, no surprise those synergies are there, because this is literally a combination of those two characters. So a Green Goblin, launching special attacks, sets Madness and Cunning stacks to be even, while both stacks are even, increase ability action by 25%. I'm not a Green Goblin enthusiast. I haven't played that guy in years, so I really don't know how good that is. And then Carnage, when genetic mutation ends, generate one additional permanent buff. I know that's good. After reaching max permanent buffs, future symbiotic creation buffs last 10 seconds. And Red Goblin gains +1 Bloodlust the first time Red Goblin wins a fight in a quest, which is good. Just a way to get another persistent charge going. And then we have Family Feud with Venom. Lose 1 less Bloodlust when defeated. This was that synergy I was talking about at the start, which, again, so you'd still be losing 1 Bloodlust when you're defeated. And again, in long-form content like Abyss, that's going to be terrible. Really not a fan of that. I wish this synergy just completely nullified the ability to lose Bloodlust. And then for Venom here, reduce the duration of Venom's Clintar buff by 30%. So I think with Venom here, you just activate your buffs quicker. That lowers the timer there, so that could be pretty good for Venom. And then we have a Hatred with Spiderman Symbiote. While Frenzy is active, increase buff duration by 30%. That's pretty solid. And then Spiderman Symbiote here gains an interesting one. Special attack 2, create a non-stacking Fury buff, granting 5% attack for each armor break on the opponent, lasting 20 seconds. While active, heavy attacks inflict 1 additional armor break. So this could get pretty crazy, actually. You can stack a lot of armor breaks through heavy attacks. They last a long time. That could be pretty good for him. Spider-Man Symbiote is like the one character that I just wish was not one. There's a lot, but he's one of the characters that Spider-Man's my favorite character in comics, and my favorite iterations of him and my favorite arcs of Spider-Man are the symbiote arcs. So when Spider-Man has the Venom symbiote, and also when he has the Carnage symbiote, those are like two of my favorite Spider-Man variations. And when he's in the Venom suit, I absolutely love those arcs whenever they're in movies, comics, TV shows. But the Spider-Man symbiote in game is just, he's not good, man. He's not nearly as good as he should be. So yeah, I hope he just gets an actual tune-up or something like that. But we have synergy with Iron Patriot, because if you aren't already aware, Red Goblin marks the 3rd Norman Osborn in game. Iron Patriot houses Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, and now Red Goblin. So Red Goblin, while Frenzy is active, Fury and Energize buffs have 15% increased potency. That's pretty good. And then Iron Patriot here, Arc Overload grants a Fury buff, increasing attack rating by 300% for 30 seconds, and no longer burns out Iron Patriot's suit and can be reactivated after a 60-second cooldown. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good for Iron Patriot, but I think Iron Patriot is like top 3 worst champions in the entire game. He needs more than this, man. He needs a complete rework. So if you can get a rework and the synergy can stay or something, I don't know, could be good in the future. I'm not going to be playing Iron Patriot, though. I'll give it a try, but I don't think it's going to make him that much better of a champion overall. It will, because he can only go up, right? But I don't think it's going to bring him into the league of other tech champions, right? That's what I mean. And then we have one more synergy here, Symbiote Consciousness with Carnage, Symbiote Supreme, and Venom the Duck. Symbiotes, each symbiote on the team grants 15% increased critical damage rating. This is actually really good. This could be a new cruelty type team. So it increases critical damage rating, not crit rate. So bringing like Corvus with a team full of symbiotes and Red Goblin, that could increase his crits by a fair bit. So we could have a new team synergy for critical damage rating. I think this could be the new best one. That's interesting. And then we actually have one more synergy with Spiderman Classic, Stark Enhanced, and Stealth Suit. Just a 6% attack synergy. And then we got some recommended masteries. Despair, Red Goblin stacks up a lot of debuffs. Enough debuffs could easily block healing with a Despair mastery. Assassin, Red Goblin's attack power goes off the chain once he's gotten his opponent low on health. The Assassin mastery will push him even farther over the edge and ensure an easy KO. And then also Resonate, weakness debuffs applied by the mastery count towards total unique debuffs, which will increase the damage of Red Goblin's special 1. So yeah, man, I think Red Goblin has a lot of potential. I think the Cosmic Champions of October are looking really, really strong. I'm very excited to try both these champions, especially because we've had so many duds in the Cosmic class. Terrax, Airwalker, none of them are perceived real well. Silver Surfer, I think he's better than people give him credit for, but he's still nowhere near what he should be. So yeah, and again, I have 2 Tier 5 Cosmic class catalysts that I'm itching to use. So I really hope to get either of these guys as a 6-star, and I think I'm for sure I'd chuck them a T5 class catalyst of the Cosmic variety, because I have so many of them. Why not? But yeah, I'm really, really excited to test out these characters. Let me know what you guys think. If you have not checked out the Cosmic Ghost Rider one, I highly suggest you do. He's sounded super awesome. A link will be at the top of the description. And if you've watched that one, or if you only watched this one, let me know what you guys think of these 2 characters. Which one do you think is going to be better if you've heard both of their abilities? Personally, right now, I'm a little bit more excited for Cosmic Ghost Rider based on the abilities alone. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And also because he's a little bit more suicide friendly, and I like to run the suicides. I just like the option of being able to run them as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, if you learned something new, drop a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more content. Thank you so much for watching this video. Peace out. Take care.